So ek is hier so in die wieg van die Mensdom by die restaurant en bistro Bidon Bistro. 'n Baie gewilde kuierplek en afsaalplek vir fietsryers, maar deesdae is hier ook 'n nuwe aantrekkingskrag. Die baie bekende, wêreldbekende sjef Jane-Therese Mulry het al die pad van die Saxon afgekom en ja, deesdae maak sy kos hier, so bederf sy die mense met haar disse. En ja, sy gesels met my en vertel so 'n bietjie van haar lewe. Hierdie episode is geborg deur Paul, prokureurs, en ek wil daarmee vir hulle dankie sê. Paul is een van die grootste prokureursfirmas in Gauteng. Hulle het 'n hoofkantoor in Boksburg, maar ook kantore in die Suide, Fourways en Centurion. En hulle spesialiseer in oordragte en ook skuldinvorderings. So dankie Paul.
Hello Jane.
Hi Teresa, how's it going?
It's going well, thanks man, and thanks for making time to
No,
speak
it's
to
an
me.
absolute pleasure.
I know chefs are the busiest people alive, so yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's you can be busy from time to time, but we always try to find time for those precious and dear to us. So yeah.
Listen Jane, okay, so I think let's start and just tell people a little bit about yourself. I think it's easier if you did. You grew up, or you were born in Australia?
Correct. My name is Jane-Therese Mulry, and with an accent like this, I can only be from one place, and that's Australia. So grew up in the far north Queensland, so sort of 24 hours drive north of Brisbane. Grew up in a little place called Cairns on the Great Barrier Reef. And beautiful place to grow up, and sort of from there finished matric and sort of started a life, needed a job. My parents travelled quite frequently, so I kind of saw chefing as a way that I could pick up on my parents travelling, go and see these places that they had seen, and if I was good enough it could give me, a little bit of money in my back pocket.
And yeah, you were good enough.
Yeah, well, we're still trying,
So tell us, after you went studying, what happened? Tell us a little bit about your career.
Yeah, so like I said, travel was always a big thing. I think, Cairns is such a little place. I mean, I grew up in a place that had 45,000 people, so we didn't really know traffic. We rode our bicycles everywhere to school. I'm not a city slicker at all. So, my parents, they obviously wanted a better life for us, and they wanted us to be able to see the world. So my mum and dad started travelling, and obviously it seemed appropriate that, having sort of watched my parents travel for so long, that I was interested in this, and I also wanted to see the world and see all these things that mum and dad went on about. And I thought, let me become a chef, and that can be a way that not only does it allow me to travel, but it also allows me to share my passion of food and culture. So that's kind of where it all came to be, and started off as a chef, did my apprenticeship for 4 years in Australia, in Cairns. So I was quite lucky, there was some beautiful 5-star hotels there, and then moved down and got myself into a chain, the Hyatt on the Sunshine Coast in Australia, worked there for 3-4 years, and then decided I was old enough and brave enough and bought myself a ticket to London, because I always wanted to go and work for the best chef in the world, Marco Pierre White. And it was 95, the year of the Rugby World Cup, so I thought, I'd been on a holidays with my folks to South Africa, and I always wanted to come back. So we came back for the rugby with an onward ticket to the UK. It just took me 2 years to get out of South Africa. I'm not sure what happened, but
just rewind back to Marco. What was it like to work for him? One of the most famous chefs in the world.
Yeah, it's sort of like, a lot of people ask me that, and if I look back now, at the time it didn't seem like a big deal to me. It really didn't. I just wanted to go and work for the best chef in the world.
Yeah.
And I was ready for whatever was thrown my way, whether I was going to get yelled at, whatever the story was, I was ready for it.
Did you get yelled at?
Well, I may have once or twice, but I learnt pretty quickly, if you just did what you were told, that life became a lot easier.
Yeah.
And for someone like me, I'm not very good at doing what I'm told to do. So. But I learned pretty quickly.
If Mark tells you something, you do.
Yeah, and it was just amazing, I'd achieved something that I'd never ever thought I could achieve. or even, yeah, it was just so amazing for me. And, you know, I started off as one of his, you know, I was a chef de partie, and by the time I left there, I was basically his first female head chef, like running one of his establishments. So, yeah, I'd become something that I didn't realise actually at the time how big it was. To be quite honest, I didn't.
You're privileged, eh?
Yeah, I didn't. And then from there, I needed to leave London. You know, I hadn't seen the sun for about 2 years. You know, because all I did was work. I was career orientated, and that was what I wanted to do, work for the best in the world. And that took up, you know, 18 hours of my day. You know, travelling probably took up another 2 hours, so they were sitting on 20. So, and by the time you have a shower and you have a beer at night, or you have 6, then you've got 1 hour to sleep, and you're up and you're doing it all again. So, you know, that was my life for 2 years, and I did it, and I'm very proud to say I've done it. And you know, from there I just sort of went back to my life in hotels, and because I had that experience, I guess, you know, it propelled me forward to do other things and become, you know, an executive chef, and being able to travel the world and work in amazing places from Bangkok. But we're not just talking about like hotels, you know, your Formula One hotel, or you know, there's room for those hotels everywhere. We're talking about a discerning, beautiful hotel where, you know, it's the point of luxury, and the guests really are discerning guests, and you've got to be on your game 24/7. So yeah, I've done that, and now we find ourselves sitting in this wonderful venue, and you know, I think this is where I am now, and I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to be doing something different, and something.
But just before this, you worked at the Saxon.
Yeah,
so
that's
just
correct.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So, you know, if I could just take it back a little bit, I was back in Australia sort of towards the end of 2016. I was there. We were living in our house, at a house in Brisbane. And we were living there, and I just kind of thought, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew that I didn't want to do what I was doing anymore. So I just stopped what I was doing. And then as life would have it, you know, we get taken on different journeys, and I found myself with an incredible opportunity to become the executive chef at the Saxon. So I obviously took that opportunity. I had been there sort of 10 years before that, but obviously I wasn't in charge then. So the opportunity arose to be in charge, and I'd always looked at the Saxon. It was a beautiful property, and I just really wanted to be a part of that, and to be a part of, to not only show people how I had grown as a chef, but to just sort of finish off what I had started sort of 10 years before that in South Africa. So to really give back and to mentor people, that's a big part of my cause, I would say, why I'm here now. Yeah, and so at the Saxon 4 years, COVID hit, and just found, I think as we go along in life and we get a bit older, they say we get a bit wiser. I'm not sure about that, but yeah, we you know, find things that were important to us 20 years before might still be as important, but not. We find other things that we really want to focus on, and I think right now COVID's shown me that. I've recently lost my father in Australia, and I wasn't allowed to travel, and just really now doing things that A, I want to do, and B, that really mean the world to me.
So tell us about this job in the cradle and your new venture.
Yeah, so my new venture, obviously when COVID hit, I left the Saxon, and my partner and I, my wife, Andrea Evans, we started up a beautiful little business making products from plants. So a plant-based company, and we produce food from plants. So we produce a butter. Our company is called Plant Food Cooperative. And then it started to grow, and we needed a place to obviously produce these beautiful products from, you know, because we had high hopes of getting into Jackson's and really getting our business out there around the country. So we stumbled across this wonderful place called Bidon Bistro, and we were
in the heart of the cradle.
Yeah, in the heart of the cradle, and it's a great little kitchen. You know, we've done a lot of work with the partner or the owner of the property, and now we're taking the restaurant and we're using it as a base. It's the home of Plant Food Cooperative. You know, in a couple of weeks we'll have a shop up and running that's going to be selling all our produce, and then in the meantime we run a restaurant as well. So no, it's great, and things are going, and you know, COVID, it's taught us a lot of things, and you know, I think
what did COVID teach you?
I just think that, you know, life is too short, and if you really want to do something, and you've always had a wish to whether it be, you know, spend more time with your family, or, you know, it's just brought us down to our roots, and I think to grass level, and what's really, you start asking yourself questions. What really is important to me? You know, what makes me tick? What makes me happy? And once you've got those answers, you know, I think I found them, you know, and you know, what's important to me is my family, and being able to just live life, you know, without, you know, just actually don't take things for granted, and I love to plant things, I love to watch things grow. I think there's a sense of achievement in all of that, and just being a bit mindful of the environment as well, and what you, it's, you know, food is the new, it's the new wealth. It's not necessarily money, but it's, if you're healthy, you're wealthy.
Yeah, it's true. So Jane-Therese, tell us a bit about the menu. Did you start a whole new menu here?
Yeah, I think, you know, we
did.
did
People come and expect you? Is it Saxon food?
I think it's, you know, I think, you know, we all want to eat good food, but I think, you know, when you get to, you know, Michelin star restaurants and these types of restaurants, I find that food, I like good wholesome food that hasn't been played with. So what you see on your plate, if you're going to eat cabbage, for instance, I don't want to chop it up into 10 million, you know, the smallest piece ever, and you don't know what you're eating. You know, the vegetables are so beautiful these days. You know, you get your heirloom vegetables. You know, carrots weren't always orange. You get different coloured carrots. So to be able to see that, and to be able to eat it in its almost original form, you cook it for the least amount of time possible. You eat it nutritiously. And I think, you know, just getting back to my roots, you know, being able to walk outside, pick vegetables, put them on a plate, change it. You know, it can change weekly. We have specials. And really use Bidon Bistro as, we really want it to be seen as a destination dining point of view. So you can come to Bidon Bistro, you can have good, wholesome, healthy, nutritious food, and at the end of the day, it's got a base. Sure, we do plant-based things, we do other things as well. You know, we have, you know, if you'd like to have a beautiful beef and ale pie, we do that. You know, you can order a beautiful salad. If you'd want to have a beautiful piece of trout just from the farm down the road, you can do that as well.
I had the trout this weekend, and sure, yeah, and it's from the area.
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to do. You know, create a menu, give it some. It's a destination, is the cradle. Come to Bidon Bistro, eat healthily, eat nutritiously, and at the end of the day, be able to eat from something that's produced locally.
What's your favourite food? If you can eat anything.
Yeah, I think it changes with the seasons, you know, for me, and that's really important to create a menu or to eat food that is best for that season, you know. So now we're coming out of winter, but you know, there's a hell of a lot of, you know, if you look around, the citrus fruits are still there. Every type of citrus fruit under the sun is in season. You know, your root vegetables are there, from your carrots. Tomatoes are now starting to come through again. You know, I saw boxes of 7 kilos of tomatoes the other day for 29 rand a box. The tomatoes are flooding the market at the moment. They really are.
It was so expensive.
Yeah, it was like 150 rand a
I
box.
know.
So you know, eat seasonally. It's better on your pocket, and it's also better nutritionally for you, because you're getting the most nutrients from your vegetables.
Yeah. So we're celebrating Women's Month, and yeah, I've spoken to a couple of really formidable women. But if you can give women in South Africa a message today, just any message of hope and inspiration.
Yeah, I think, you know, I don't like to, you know, people often tell me that I'm quite a humble person, and I truly believe in being humble. I think, you know, chase your dreams, definitely be passionate about, you know, there's a famous saying in life that if you do what you're passionate about, you'll never work another day in your life. Well, I don't necessarily agree with that, because everybody does work, and I think, you know, even the best at, you know, you take people like Elon Musk, they work and they work hard. But I think that, you know, don't let people put you down. If that's what you want to do and you really truly believe in it, just keep at it. Because you know what, if I look back on my career, I've been a chef for 32 years. I've worked in some of the hardest kitchens in the world, but I never gave up. And I think, if you can do it, if you can prove you're just as good as anybody else out there doing that job, the recognition will come, and it will come because you're good at what you're doing, and just keep at it.
Yeah. So, last question. Everybody's moving to Australia. Yeah, it seems like everyone in South Africa. You're like the only person I know who's coming back this way. Okay, I know somebody else, but
yeah, I guess.
What makes South Africa special to you? Why do you choose to stay here?
I think, there's we could sit here the whole afternoon and talk about the reasons why I'm here. But I think, at the end of the day, I'm a big believer. This country really has so much good. It does. Sure, every country in the world has its problems. There's problems all over the world. Australia has its own problems as well, You can't even have a beer in Australia at the moment with your mask off. You've got to put your mask on, so we're all being told to have a beer. It's like, what's going on? But, these are the rules that are made up. But I think for this country, one of the things that makes my heart tick, one of the reasons why I'm here, are the people. And I think the people of South Africa, it's so diverse, and the people make it special. And being able to give back, I belong to an industry where, so many people want to be chefs, and I think if I can do one thing for this country, because I've taken so much from the industry, it's time to give back, and just mentorship, helping, and I think that's a big thing for us at Bidon's. We're community driven. And, I actually have no qualified chefs in my kitchen, and it's about giving back to the community and making sure that we can make a difference in the community lives,
That's incredible. Thank you so much.
It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you for your time.
Nuuspod, onbevange, onbegrens, onbevooroordeeld.